Hump Day is here. May 31st, 2023. It's Wednesday. And it's the last day of the month for.
Yes, it's the last day of the month. It is May 31st, and as it's Wednesday. Yeah. So, lots of wonderful blessings I wish to share to those persons who are listening. It is another beautiful morning here, within the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. It's a wonderful day. It's Wednesday. And we have at 8:15 Natasha Shani Gray Brooks. She will be here on behalf of the People's Action Movement. She will be discussing the party's upcoming caucus and convention. And so, at 8:15, we will be graced by Natasha Shani Gray Brooks, the General Secretary of the People's Action Movement. And I just want to share some positive thoughts. This morning, I want to say to you that whatever you are going through, just keep positive, just keep the faith. There is more strength in you than you realize. And so you have the capability to accomplish what needs to be done. And so I am imploring you as you go through the day to keep positive, to keep smiling, to keep your head up regardless the situation. I'm often told before, that at the end of every day, there's another day. There's another day for you to do what you have to do. A day doesn't last forever. And so we are given many other days to do what we can. And so we have to be always positive. And I've seen here in the news that an earthquake struck near Dominica. So here, a magnitude 3.8 earthquake was recorded near Dominica this evening. The UE Seismic Research Center said it occurred around 5:45 p.m. at a depth of 35 kilometers. And so it was 73 kilometers east of Rosa Dominica, 81 kilometers northeast of Fort-de-Prince, Martinique, and 137 kilometers northeast of Castries, St. Lucia. And in other news, we have here 3 schoolgirls aged 15 reported missing in Grenada. So we have the police in Grenada. They're looking for 3 teenage girls who have been reported missing in separate incidents. And the names of the teens are Shinia Clark, she's 15 years old. There's another one, Diana, who's 15 years old as well. And Phoebe St. Louis, 15 years old as well. So it's 3 15-year-olds, and they are reported missing.
As of when?
They have been reported missing since Tuesday, May 16th. Well, this is for Shinia. She left her residence on Tuesday, May 16th, and have not returned since. Diana left her residence on Tuesday, the 23rd of May, and has not returned since. And Phoebe left the 15th, 2023 May, and has not returned since. So on the 15th, the 16th, and the 23rd, 3 girls have been missing in Grenada. They have left their residence and they have not returned. And Phoebe, she was last seen wearing her school uniform. Yeah.
What do the police suspect?
Well, the police doesn't say anything in terms of in terms of suspecting anything yet. All they're saying is that Anyone with the information about the whereabouts of these 3 missing teens has been asked to contact the Central Police Station. Yeah. Wow. You know, as I think about this, I'm thinking about, you know, countries like United States where when I've, you know, looked at documentaries where it is that such a similarity in cases, it could be done by one person, you know.
Yeah. That's why I was asking if there was a connection, because they're all the same age, but they're going missing like one after the other. So. And
after they've left their residence. So it makes you wonder if it's a central person in charge of this thing who has some sort of, you know, affection or attraction.
You know, it's funny because last night somebody sent me a video of a popular local artist giving a speech on TikTok.
Yes.
And speaking about the age of consent. And about persons that would have had sexual relations with his daughter when she was 15. And he basically sent out a threat. He said, you know, whoever I find out, whenever I find out whoever it was that slept with my daughter when she was underage, basically, I'm going to shoot them in the face.
Wow.
And I stood there, I watched it twice because I know the young man, but, and you could see his pain, you could see that he was distressed. I find there's quite a lot of pedophilia happening here in St. Kitts, and it is being covered down. I know a couple years ago, myself and a bunch of other women on Facebook were petitioning for a sexual register, sexual offenders register. I don't know where we're at with that, but there's quite a lot of it happening in St. Kitts. And he even made reference to the point that you can't vote until you're 18, but the age of consent is 16.
Okay, guys, let's take the break. It's 8:14. We have someone from the People's Action Movement coming up next. So let's take a quick break. And of course, we can continue the conversation later on.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Everybody beware, you better prepare. Disaster can happen anytime, anywhere. Everybody beware, you better prepare. Disaster can happen anytime, anywhere.
How do I prepare a disaster plan? Step 1. Learn as much as you can. The first step is research. Do not wait until a disaster is coming to find important information. This step is incredibly important for your plan. Here are some things you should find out. What hazards are you exposed to? Do you live near the ocean or any rivers? Are you near to a volcano? The type of hazard you're exposed to will determine the way you prepare yourself. Find out about disaster plans at your child's school and at your workplace. Are there persons with disabilities in your family? Do you know how to help them? What about your pets? Do you have a plan for them? For more information, visit NEMA.kn or log on to NEMA SKN on Facebook.
Everybody beware, you better prepare. Disaster can happen anytime, anywhere. Everybody
Natasha, Shani Gray Brooks, Pam. Oh Lord.
Constituency
Number
what one?
Yes,
Number
number
one.
one, the General Secretary of the People's Action Movement. And during the election campaign, Pam was attached to her name, so it's still, when you hear Natasha, Shani Brooks, Gray Brooks, Pam, it all comes together.
It's funny because I got a message saying Natasha is going to be in studio. Like, who's Natasha?
Yes.
And they go, great. I was like, oh, you mean Shani? Oh, well, say Shani. Like, I hardly ever call you Natasha.
Yes.
How are you doing?
Well, good morning, Candisie. Good morning, Azard.
Good morning.
I am doing well. A bit hot, but I guess that is something we have to get used to over the next few months, and I want to ensure that persons stay hydrated. But I am good. I'm here in my capacity as the General Secretary for the People's Action Movement, and I also would wear the second hat as the candidate that ran for the last general elections in constituency number 1, known as East Bastair, where my heart is and where I would continue to show my support and love for the people.
Awesome. Nice intro. Thanks for the tip about hydration. So tell us why you're here today.
Well, the People's Action Movement is hosting its annual convention. Normally, we host convention during the months of March or April, but because of some technicalities, we had to push back a bit. But we made sure that we let people know that the convention was in fact coming. The People's Action Movement is a party that has been in existence since 1965. And we are not going anywhere anytime soon. And so we wanted to let the people know that we are coming to them this year. The theme for this year's convention is Reflect, Re-engage, and Revitalize. And it's being held on the 4th of June, which is this coming Sunday at party headquarters, starting at 2 p.m.
Oh, I like that theme. Reflect, re-engage. What's the last one?
Revitalize.
Revitalize. Nice. And do you guys, I know usually when there's a convention, you bring in a speaker. Are you guys going to have a speaker this year? Or is it
Yes.
gonna be...
This year, our guest speaker is the Honorable Robert Nestor Morgan. He is from Jamaica. He is a minister in the Prime Minister's office with responsibility for information. He gets in on Saturday, and we are very eager to have him here to help to rally the troops and ensure that whilst we re-engage them, we make sure that they are revitalized. Because even though we would have lost the 2022 general elections, this is the time for rebuilding. This is the time for re-engaging our people and to find out what went wrong, what has happened, and how we can make it better. And that is what we intend to do, because we continue to hear the cries of the people. Even though, there's a new administration, there are still the cries and concerns that we heard before election. And so we think that the People's Action Movement can help to solve those problems and alleviate the challenges that our people face, and we intend to do so, but we can only do that for the people with the support of the people.
Right. So how does the convention work? Is it open to anyone? Do you have to purchase tickets?
Oh, no. This is not only open to members and supporters of the People's Action Movement. We extend an invitation to the general public. We would be streaming it, as well as we intend to have it broadcast on WIN FM. But we want to see the people on the grounds. And so we extend an invitation to the mother, the father, the children, those who are not so well able. We would provide the necessary assistance for them, because we always remain for the people. We don't want persons to feel that because they are not a party supporter that they cannot come to the convention. It is open to persons who may have supported Labour, persons who have supported PLP, persons who have no affiliation at all. This is a convention not just to rebuild the People's Action Movement, but to rebuild St. Kitts Nevis, because our aim is to ensure that the citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis and the residents are taken care of, because we always put people first.
Nice. Interesting. And so do you guys anticipate a big turnout? Because I know you said you would have moved it. So have you been, basically, plodding the pavement, advertising it? Is
we
it
have
out
been
there?
advertising. The news is out there. We hope to get it out between now and Sunday more to the public. We changed the venue for a number of reasons. One, we came out of an election where we would have lost, and we want to ensure that we not just take people back to the home of People's Action Movement, because over the years, the majority of the conventions has been held at party headquarters. I think the only 2 times we may have stepped out was in 2021 when we went to Sandy Point, and 2022 when we went to Keon. That's from my knowledge, and I stand to be corrected. But all other conventions that I have attended was always at party headquarters. And so back to roots.
Right.
We would have went out and ventured into the communities to reach persons who may not have want to come to party headquarters for some reason or the other. But I think we have to start at home. Home is where the heart is. And if it is, we are trying to re-engage our people, revitalize them, we need to at least take them to where it all started. And so we would have had a convention in 2019, I think it was, because 2020 there was COVID, so we had no convention. We had a convention in the yard space in 2019. I think that worked fine. It was superb. And I think we can try it again. We try to make sure that people feel welcomed and let them know that PAM headquarters is nothing to be afraid of, nothing to run from. The People's Action Movement always try to keep people at the center. We are a people-centered party. And once we get persons to feel comfortable, to get familiarized with the venue, then we see no problem bringing them back there. And so we went there. We also wanted to ensure that the facility is being used, because sometimes it sit there for months. You don't have something, maybe some of the constituencies have events and they have them within their different constituencies. Right. And so we want to make sure that the venue is properly utilized, that persons can know that they feel comfortable. In fact, I don't think I was born in that era, or maybe I was too small, but I heard that they used to have $5 dance up at the PAM headquarters.
And remind us where this headquarters is.
This is at Lockhart Street. It sits between the Patsy Allers playing field and there's a unit for education. I can't put the name on. I think must be CPU. I think it is. Right. It's on Lockhart Street. So you maybe, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the terminology, up the hill.
No. No, not at all.
Up the hill, there are also some townhouses in that area. So persons are invited to come up the hill at PAM headquarters, where you would not only hear speeches, electrifying speeches from some of the candidates that ran in the 2022 election. You'll also hear from the political leader. I always look forward to hearing from my leader. And we also would hear from our guest speaker. We have entertainment lined up, which would include some cultural performances, some singing. St. Kitts has a wide vast of talent, and I don't think we utilize them enough. And I think this is a time that we continue to promote the talents in St. Kitts and Nevis, and we're going to use the opportunity at convention to do so. Persons would meet the newly elected executive of the People's Action Movement that would serve for 2023 to 2024.
So I was going to ask about that, because I heard mention of caucus. So explain to us what's happening there.
Well, the caucus is an event that we normally have prior to convention, where the executive body is elected. The positions that are up for election is every position except the political leader. That is a term that the political leader normally holds for 3 years. And this 3 years does not expire until next year. So this year, we will have persons being elected for the deputy political leaders, the chairman, the deputy chairman, the secretary, the PRO, and the assistant General Secretary. I think I said that before, and the Treasurer.
So your position is up for grabs?
Well, no, I'm the General Secretary. That is an appointed position. I've held that post since 2019.
Wow.
So I am in my 4th year, and I intend to tender my resignation as the General Secretary because
What?
I have different aspirations.
Oh my. I wonder what we can look forward to.
Well, I am hoping that when I put myself before the caucus on Thursday and indicate the position that I intend to vie for, that I would come out with I would enter in as the General Secretary and exit with a different post.
Well, congrats and in advance. Good luck. So you guys usually do this in-house?
Yes, it's a private session where each constituency is allowed to submit 20 delegates, 15 delegates and 5 alternates.
Okay.
And the youth arm is also to send a representation of 3 persons and the National Women's Group, along with the existing executive. So this is a private session. The results would be made known to the public shortly thereafter, and it will be ratified at convention on Sunday.
Wow. So is there campaigning happening in-house or in constituency? 'Cause how do persons know that, okay, I want to tender my resignation and be this now?
I think some members want to encourage open campaigning. I've heard it in the meetings and so forth. But surprisingly, during my time as part of the executive, I've never seen it's always a secret. Like,
Oh my. Because even now, we don't know what position you're going to be running for. And I am extremely curious.
I wish you could have voted. I would invite you to come as part of my delegation.
I'm definitely intrigued.
But people don't normally say. In fact, I sit across from my friend Azard, who has
been very quiet
who's now the
throughout this
deputy
meeting.
chair.
I allow Candy to go through with the interview because I didn't want it to see me.
He's like, let me not say anything so Shani will know what position I'm running for.
No, but I think she already knows.
But some people campaign secretly. So
Yes.
what they do, they might try to find out who are the delegates, and they touch base with somebody who they think might have the commanding support of the delegates, and they try to do their own.
So it's a bit
campaigning.
of, yes.
Oh my.
Some persons are on the spot, okay, I think that person might make a good PRO.
Right.
Let me nominate them.
Oh my goodness.
So, it's going to be exciting.
So as
there's
Natasha
going to
has
be
said,
interesting.
it's going to be interesting to see the results because, it's to revitalize, re-energize,
Re-engage.
I'm hoping that out of the convention there is a good mix of youth and experience.
Yes.
I know sometimes persons want to ensure that there's new blood and so forth, but I think we can't forget the experience part of
Right.
it, because the young persons may have ideas or come with fresh ideas that we've been not seeing these things because we've all been there and looking at it from a different perspective. But someone who's coming in fresh and has been looking from the outside in may see things differently, things that we never saw before, because we always look at, okay, this is the problem, this is the problem, this is the problem. And I think over the years we have I don't want to use the word recycled, but persons in the executive, they change posts.
Right, but they still
They
remain
still,
there.
yeah, because
Right.
for me, I have held the post of deputy chair. I have been the treasurer. I have been the assistant general secretary. I'm now the general secretary. And I intend to hold a different post. So I'm being recycled.
Yes.
I'm going from post to post.
Interesting.
But then in terms of, where we want the party to go, what we want to see happening, who we want to see involved, the results we want to expect, I may be seeing it from the same lenses in the different posts.
Yes.
So if you have somebody who comes in who has a different perspective on things, I think that may be the rejuvenation, the revitalization that we may need. So I'm hoping, and it's not my decision because it's the caucus delegates who decides who holds these posts, but I'm hoping that there is a good mix of youth and experience.
So who's allowed to vote? You have to be a member
You have to be a member, a financial.
I just want to say paid up member.
Financial member. I mean,
Right.
even though some persons are not delegates, we still encourage persons to become members of the party. It's a mere $50 per year. So, I mean, I know things are hard. I know some persons are going through some rough times, but we encourage persons to become members of the People's Action Movement, where you can not just be a part of the decision-making process, but to be able to boast and to be proud to belong to a party that has been in existence for a long time. We're coming up to 60 years. And, you know, some persons have never been given the opportunity to make decisions that would not just only affect the party, but that can very well result in making St. Kitts and Nevis a better place. And who doesn't want to feel proud of that? You know, to look back at it in 20 years and say, you know, I made that happen. And so I encourage persons to become members of the People's Action Movement, not just for the voting purposes, but to feel proud to be able to leave your footprints in the sand. And I know Azard has made his mark, and I'm quite certain he doesn't regret it.
No, I
Right,
haven't.
interesting. And you guys should have the results by Friday.
Yes,
By
by Friday,
Thursday.
by
Because
Thursday evening,
Because
you
I'm
know.
gonna torment him. We often have political back and forth in here.
It's nothing like our local elections where you have to wait until the next
Wee
day.
hours of the morning. Wee
Yeah,
hours of the morning.
how it's done, it's actually you go from the top. So if the political leader was there, then you will have the runoff for him. You get the results right away. Then the two deputy political leaders get the results right away. Then the chairman get the results right away. Deputy chairman, and it goes down right away.
Oh.
And so if persons are unsuccessful in a post,
They already know, so they can probably go up for another one.
Yes.
So
yes.
who are some of the persons that are up right now, are acting in the roles?
Well, currently,
Deputy.
Deputy Chair is Azard. The chairman is Jonelle Powell. Right now, we only have one deputy political leader in the person of Lindsay Grant. The Assistant General Secretary is Daniel Warner. The PRO is Delwayne Delaney. The Treasurer is Charles Morton. I feel like I'm missing somebody.
Leader.
The political leader, sorry.
He's not up, right?
Yes,
No, he's
it's,
not up.
the Honorable Sean Richards.
Right.
And even though I am not one of the elected persons, I'm currently the General Secretary.
Okay.
So there may be somebody coming around who will be the new General Secretary.
Seems like I only noticed one female mentioned, Danielle.
Daniel Warner.
Right.
Yes.
So I'm hoping
Like some
more
females.
females on that that executive.
Well, I know that you are quite aware that women are very impactful.
Yes, ma'am.
And we don't just want to be impactful from behind the scenes. We want to be in the forefront. And that is one of the things that I encourage. And I know that the People's Action Movement also welcome women to put themselves up for leadership roles. It was quite unfortunate that I was the only female candidate.
Yes, we have to change that.
But I would do my best to encourage some of my colleagues to put themselves up, because I think that there are many women in the People's Action Movement who can make a difference for the general citizenry and the residents of St. Kitts Nevis.
Very nice. Thank
I
you.
guess
This has been
after-
quite an interesting convo.
I guess tomorrow evening the information will be circulated as the new executive of the People's Action Movement.
Well, good luck to you both.
But Azard hasn't told me what position he's running. So he's not
it's a
even
secret.
soliciting. Maybe we might have to meet privately.
I know.
and try to push for each other.
I'll send you a text message.
I wouldn't advise that, counsel.
Or I'll give you a phone call if you don't have court.
Actually, I have court. I
Oh my.
would wish I could stay here with you all morning,
But you have
because I would like to use this opportunity to just stay on the air all day and invite
put forward,
persons
right.
until I get thirsty, and then somebody offer me a bottle of water. I would say thank you, and I would go again. Because
Good
we
endurance.
want to make sure that people know that we are here. We are here to hear their concerns. We are here to fight for them. It's not all about, putting your head in the sand, burying it, and forgetting about people's problems, because it's a trickle-down effect. It's not just Candisie's problem. It's not just Azard's problem. If Azard has a monthly commitment to an institution and he cannot meet that, then that has an impact on the business. It has an impact on the staff, has an impact on the economy. And I think I enjoy fighting for people. And I think I want to ensure that people know that we are fighting for them. So again, I extend a warm invitation to everyone in St. Kitts and Nevis, regardless of your political affiliation, regardless of, your background, who you are involved with, where you work. You don't have to come in a yellow shirt, but we welcome persons in yellow shirt. We want to brighten up the backyard that afternoon. We want to make sure it's a golden sunset.
Oh my.
Okay.
I look forward to hearing from our guest speaker. I look forward from hearing from our political leader. And I know there are many persons who want to know what the plans are for the People's Action Movement. Persons may have been saying that we have been quiet, but as they have recognized, we have broken the silence.
Yes.
And it is not about us being in a shell. It is about reflecting, looking at where you went wrong, looking at what you did wrong, looking at how you can improve person's life, looking at what, how you can do things better. And make sure that you put yourself in that position where you can present yourself to the people and give satisfactory answers. You just don't want to, bounce and go here, without a plan. Right. The People's Action Movement has always been a party with the plan. And so I look forward to seeing you, Candisie. I mean, you could come dressed as you are. If you want me to get your suit laundered, I'll do that for you. And
why, thank you.
And so I look forward to an exciting time on Sunday. I look forward to speaking to my people in constituency number 1 and let them know that I am not going anywhere. I am coming back stronger, and I am coming back for them, because someone is just warming my seat until the heat places me where I am supposed to be.
Yes.
Thank you.
And it's Sunday at the
Sunday,
People's
4th
Action
June
Movement.
at 2 p.m. at the party headquarters at Lockhart Street. And we'll also be on social media. So stay tuned.
Thank you.
Well,
thank you
Miss
so much for
Gray,
popping in, Miss Sunshine.
No problem. I mean, I'm going back out in the sunshine, but I think I'll be all right.
Hang in there.
All
Hang
right,
in there.
thanks.
Thank
Take
you so
care.
much for
Have a
joining
great
us,
day.
Shani.
All right.
Thank you.
All the best.
From the South, 98.9. Win FM.
TDC for service, TDC for quality. TDC your company, TDC for service, TDC for quality. TDC your company, together we succeed, building our strong community, pressing onward to our destiny. One love, one family, together we succeed. Let the whole world see. Yes, this is 50.
Give your car some TLC with CNC Auto Services Limited, located on the Bay Road Industrial Park by Steer. We're your local agents for genuine Honda parts. Plus, we've got some sweet deals happening right now on suspension and brake parts, ignition coils, coolants, oils, and filters, with tires priced at $188. We've also got car batteries at the crazy low price of $345. So don't wait until your car lives in dire need. Stop at CNC Auto Services and Honda today. Telephone 465-9317. For some speedy service and some unbeatable prices, your ride will thank you.
It's 8:42. Island Tea continues. This would have been our Social Security segment, but
Yes.
she hasn't. No Camilla yet. Hopefully, she's on the way.
Probably.
But I guess we can, of course, we can continue in the meantime.
Fingers
So you
crossed.
see, Natasha Gray Brooks has invited Miss Franklin.
I share a lot of
convention.
her sentiments in that I would like to see more young persons participating in politics. And when I say young, I consider myself relatively young.
You are young, Candy. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
I know, right? I'm taking it.
Yes.
And I'd like to see more women involved in politics. I am not sure what our last census said, but based on, I guess, loose figures or loose speaking, there are more women on island in our population than men. So I definitely like to see more women involved and bringing more women issues to the fore. I feel like sometimes they forget that women wear so many hats. Their mothers, their daughters, their sisters. They're basically the persons that keep the family together.
Which brings
and then
me-
they still manage a career.
Which brings me to a point. I wanted to make the point to Shani, but time was already kind of. I'm always tremendously impressed, and I have a lot of respect for women who take on politics. I mean, she had the baby basically had the baby just
She
maybe
had
like
the
a
baby
week.
while campaigning, yeah.
Yes, I mean, I don't know.
And she's a active lawyer. She is a mother of two. She's in politics. She's the general
Secretary
Yeah.
of the People's Action
I mean,
Movement.
I actually
it's a
told her
lot of
this.
hats.
I told her this before because I live in her
Yes.
area, but I've spoke to her.
I've had
It's-
this conversation with Azard because we went through all the list of women that ran in the last election. Akila has three children.
Yeah.
They're still very young. And she was also the deputy leader of PLP. She's had a career, and I just can't imagine how they managed to get all of that done and still keep it all together. Marsha has a young son as well. She's also a lawyer,
Yes.
and she ran as well. And Jackie.
Yes, yes.
So hats off, kudos
Yeah.
to all the women
What
that
about
are involved in politics.
Each
Did I miss somebody?
Each party had at least one in it.
Yeah, Marsha was with Labour. Well, PLP had two
Yeah,
because it was
PLP had
Jackie
two,
and
yeah.
Akila, and then Pam
Labour
had just Shani.
Yeah, Pam had Shani. Labour had
Marsha. As far as I can remember, wasn't it
Yeah.
just Marsha?
Marsha,
you
well,
were
elected
there.
anyway.
Right.
Uh-huh.
No, well, running. It was just
Yeah,
Marsha.
elected,
She was
yeah.
the only female, right? So I'm always amazed that they managed to do all of that and still get everything done, right? Their kids are still in school. They're still doing well. The family's still functioning. Political hat on, career on, and still look good doing it. Kudos.
Yes, and it's going to be, I guess, a very interesting time because the Labour Party had its conference and elected its executive. People's Action
Right.
Movement.
I
now
found
going
that
to
was
do that.
kind of silent though. Like I
Yeah.
didn't even I didn't remember it happened until I saw a post about it. I was like, really? When did this happen? And then you guys are having yours on Sunday. And I know PLP has theirs slated for the 27th, unless they change the
They
date.
changed it to
They
the
changed it.
17th
Oh, the 17th of June or July?
June.
Oh, wow, they brought it up. Okay.
So the 17th of June will be the People's Labour Party
June is pretty busy.
convention, yeah. So you're going to be music festival and party conventions.
Wow,
Yeah.
pretty interesting.
Interesting.
I'll keep my
time.
ear to the ground to hear what's happening. It
Yes.
should be interesting. I must admit though, I am definitely hoping for younger persons on both sides. Not to say that the people there are old, but I think new ideas. I feel like the way we do politics in St. Kitts needs to have a drastic change if we want to see different and better results.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely intrigued.
Yeah, and I think what a lot of persons are looking for in the political parties, especially you see it with the Labour Party, it had change of faces, and in 2020, going into 2022, you had a lot of persons, new into the party, and now the People's Labour Party would have lost some of its candidates. So the question is, who are going to be the new candidates?
Right. I think I'm more intrigued about that because I remember when we had that slew of resignations.
Yeah.
And so I am like, who's running now? What's up? What's happening? Are they going to be more females?
Yeah.
So.
And equally in the People's Action Movement, I think at this point in time, you have persons who would have served for a number of years, and the opportunity now for fresh and new persons to take up some of the positions,
Nice.
Yeah. So
Nice.
it's going to be very, very interesting, I think.
Are you at all nervous?
For what?
Isn't your position up for grabs? Is it?
Yeah, deputy chair.
Ah.
Yeah, I've been through this for the last 4 years. The first time I served on the executive was in 2019 as the assistant general secretary. I served twice. Well, 2020 was a year where we didn't have the elections due to the
It's just
pandemic.
a different year.
Yeah, so I had a straight into 2020, then again in 2021, again assistant general secretary. So for 3 years I served as the assistant general secretary. Wow. Yes, and then in 2022 I was elected the deputy chair of the People's Action Movement, and so yes, it's up for grabs again. It's that time again. A bit nerve-wracking, but
yes,
you wait and see. You put yourself out there, and you wait and see if the caucus, the delegates, are going to elect you to
I
serve.
neglected to ask Shani about the amount of persons that. Well, I mean, you can never know because some persons might pay late just so that they can come and be part of the caucus. But
so each constituency has 15 delegates and 5 alternates. So you have a maximum of 20 persons as delegates. So you have 15 and then you have 5 alternates. The alternates are there just in case someone cannot make it at the time. Because you may pay your fee and you may intend to go, but then things happen. And so as a result, you may not be there. So you have persons who are alternates who can take your position and vote.
Okay, we have a call. I was trying to input the call before the person.
Hello,
hangs
good
up,
morning.
But,
We lost it?
Yeah, and sometimes I try to input it just before I tell you guys, just so that they don't go, and then you go on. You still lose it. Yeah.
And so we have 8 constituencies. So it's 8 times 15, possible 15, and then maximum 20. And then you also have the 3 from the women's arm of the party, 3 from the youth arm, and then you have the national executive. So you have 9 from the national executive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice place to put a full stop on that. So we have a call.
Yeah, no problem.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Hi, caller.
Good morning.
Hi.
Good morning.
Azard,
Yes.
if this question makes you uncomfortable, then just decline. But if it doesn't, then I'd be grateful for an answer.
Yes.
You said a little bit ago that you suggested that maybe some changes would be in order. Words to that effect. Am I correct?
Yes.
Would you be mindful to say concretely who and which changes might be in the best interest of the party going forward? And Candy suggested more women, more young people. While I think it is good for that, while I think that is a good idea, I don't think more women or more men or less of either. And young people, for the sake of having young people, is necessarily the most productive plan. I think what you need, certainly fresh ideas, must be built on a philosophy and a combination of youthful energy, vigor, robustness, and prudent experience. Young people don't raise themselves. They are apprenticed into adulthood. Regardless of how bright they may be, how capable they may be, they need a little time to mature and blossom. And being surrounded by well-meaning, capable, experienced persons, I think, enhances the opportunity of delivering that better message and ushering in a better era into the country. So, in that kind of context, I'm asking you, Azard, who you think should be running, who should not be running, I mean, in the interest of the country. Because, you know, acceptability by the voters is very important. One aspect of that, as I wind up, it was a very widely discussed point during the last two elections that the Labour Party would have had difficulty winning the election had Dr. Douglas remained the leader. The change of leader and the person who was the new leader, in the minds of a lot of people, made a significant difference in the outcome of the election. So a concrete question, and I think we should reach the point where we stop playing with our cards close to our chest and let these be public discussions. Having these discussions doesn't mean there's any rancor, any venom, any viciousness, any bad blood, anything sinister. But these things need to be discussed. And of course, you are part of a party, and in order for you to succeed, you have to gain traction on the ground. Very often political parties misguidedly make their decisions and then look for traction on the ground, rather than finding out what would get traction and then making decisions. So that's it. If you can answer those questions.
Well, in terms of new persons...
I'll hang up.
Okay.
I'll hang up.
Thank you for your contribution.
Thank you for your contribution. Well, I'll try to answer the question. I mean, it's a very wide question. New persons, new faces. I mean, just look at it. Tomorrow, the People's Action Movement is going to have its party caucus, where it's going to elect, save and accept the leader of the party. That comes in next year. The leadership of the party comes in every 3 years. And of course, there is going to be a decision to be made. I mean, the leader is there. There is strong support for our leader. And so we would make a decision, and he will make a decision as well. So I don't know if the call was tooting towards that. Of course, you know, we have candidates who ran in the last election who have indicated and that they no longer wish to serve in that capacity again. Okay. And so we have the opportunity for new persons to take up that position. Of course, it's for the party to decide based on based on the structure that would be in place, based on the selection process, an open selection process. And of course, bearing in mind all factors as to who would be best able to serve the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. So again, I don't have concrete answers, but I have, guidance that, that in the future, there is going to be new faces.
Right. I do want to agree with something
there are going to be new faces
that the caller said about young persons and prudent, experienced persons. And I like the way it was phrased. I definitely agree with that. I don't think that being a young person, they would have served in that capacity and have all the answers. So it's always good to have older persons and experience to fall back on. But I still think that more women need to be involved. So I like the way it was phrased. Thank you for that. I definitely agree. but I would still want to push for more women to step up to the plate. So hopefully this caucus turns out.
I always say it should be the best person. I mean, we know that there has been a push for women, but I have always said that it should be the best person, whether you're male, whether you're female, who is best able to serve or who is better able to serve. So if you have a slate based on this election, we are looking for who the candidate who would be best
suited. Okay,
yeah.
Fair enough.
And of course, we encourage as many persons to apply and as many persons to put themselves forward.
And you might know more than I do. Over the years, how many female candidates have you guys had? I just remembered Dame Constance.
We've had Janelle Rollins as well.
Right.
Yeah, Janelle Rollins at NHC. She ran against Dr. Denzel Douglas in constituency number 6. We've had, as you know, Natasha, who ran. I think we would have had some persons prior to that. Okay. Maybe one other person prior to that. Yeah. But in recent memory, it would have been Dane. Yeah, and of course, we've had the women who serve as senators.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. It should be interesting. I'll wait to hear the the results on Friday.
I mean, again, too, when the People Action Movement comes into government, often it's fact. It's usually a coalition. So you have not the full 6, so you have less persons. If you catch what I'm saying, so you may have, like in 1980, was a coalition government with the NRP,
right?
And then afterwards, you realize in 2015 it was a coalition government with the CCM and the PLP.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, let's see what this new caucus brings, and the convention.
It should bring some. Week. Yeah, it's very busy, and also we have a mini motorcade on this Saturday morning. You know, we're going to get that organized, and of course, there is also barbecue.
So there's a full slate of activities happening.
Barbecue at the People's Action Movement.
And it's starting on Thursday, or has it started already?
Well, today we are supposed to have persons welcoming persons to the convention. So I'll let you look out for those videos that are to be posted.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, but this is going to be mostly online.
Online. And then we have, on Friday, barbecue at PAM headquarters. After the caucus and the party business.
Do co-hosts get free food?
I mean, I encourage you to come up. The tickets are just $25, Candisie.
You hear me telling you co-hosts want free food. And you're trying to sell a ticket?
Okay, guys, I have to tell you guys, there's no farm report this morning. I just heard from Troy. We might be having the segment on the Special Olympics next, but they're awaiting the arrival of Ivor Blake. So let's take our 9 o'clock break, and we can come back and chat in the meantime.
Awesome.
I have to send you guys I was about to send it this morning, but I got sidetracked.
That's okay.
Dwyer's new commentary.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he made it mercifully shorter than usual. So
what's the topic this time?
Huh?
What's the topic this time?
I didn't get to listen. I only saw it this morning.
Okay.
So I think I listened about 2 minutes of it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he seemed to be talking about youth violence and so on. So,
okay.
So I'm gonna be doing voices this morning.
Good topic.
Even if we play it this morning, I'll probably play it again and get people to win. But if you guys want us to listen, it's 9 minutes or something. So
good topic. And timely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we will. Let's take a quick break and come back.
Yeah.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
The climate change crisis is already making millions of people sick and jeopardizing lives. But for us in the Caribbean, young people are among the most vulnerable. Our future is at risk. Taking action now can lead to huge health benefits. The I Deserve a Better Climate for My Health campaign will spotlight real issues from real young people in the Caribbean and give youths a platform to contribute to the solutions for climate change and health. You are not too young to inspire climate and health action.
Apply online now for the NHC new modern smart homes. The application process is digital. Sign up for a 1, 2, or 3 bedroom home at apply.nhc.kn. Create your unique ID and never have to reapply. Did you hear that? Never ever have to reapply. It's safe, secure, and saves time. No more paperwork. Sign up and free up your time by applying online at apply.nhc.kn. Contact us at 466-4701 for more information. NHC, raising standards.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Buildings damaged by an earthquake are dangerous. This is not the time for sightseeing. You could be in personal danger and your presence could hamper emergency responses. Also, stay away from areas prone to landslides, low-lying coastal areas, lakes and streams that lead to the ocean. Do not head for the coast until local authorities tell you that the danger of a tsunami has passed. Curiosity can kill.
This message is sponsored by the Australian Government, AusAid, and produced by NEMA in collaboration with WINNFM.
It's 4 minutes after 9 o'clock, and I've spoken in the past about the fact that we tend to do this weird thing in St. Kitts Nevis where we have national teams and other people doing great things, and somehow they never get their flowers. They punch way above their weight, and it goes unnoticed. And I couldn't help noticing at the last Olympics, the last Paralympics, I think. I was pleasantly shocked at how many medals St. Kitts Nevis won. And and once again, these achievements usually go, like I say, unsung. Undersung, okay, at the very least undersung, but mostly unsung. It so happens we have Ivor Blake, Jesse Mulcair, and a team from the Special Olympics, and they're going to be telling us about their plans for the Special Olympics program in St. Kitts Nevis. And we'll do our small part to see to it that they get their flowers. And at the same time, keep the general public aware of all the great things that have been happening with the Special Olympics as far as their medal counts and everything, which is truly impressive, I have to say. I mean, because I do follow these things. I know most people don't, but I do.
Yes.
Yes. Good morning and welcome to Island Team. Yes. It's nice to have you guys. We have a full studio.
Yes, and
so we're going to ask for some intros. Well, I know Mr. Blake very well. So we have Mr. Ivor Blake, and I'll let you do the other introductions.
Thank you, and good morning to all the listeners out there. My name is Ivor Blake, as you said, and I would like to introduce on my right. Here we have Jesse Mulcair. Jesse Mulcair is with us as a cycling coach. And next to Jesse is Jolie Bradshaw, and Ms. Bradshaw is the athletic coach. And we have one of our athletes here with us this morning is Sandy Richardson. Sandy does athletics, track. And so we're here to share, about Special Olympics and the upcoming World Games.
Nice. Welcome.
So where the World Games going to be held?
So every 4 years, Special Olympics hosts a World Games. So the last one was in Abu Dhabi in 2019. So I think it's 12 days now. Within 12 days, 17 days. Right? We have another one which is in Berlin, Germany, and we have a delegation of 23 persons made up of athletes, coaches, and officials that will be heading to Germany very shortly, and to participate. This year, we will be participating in athletics, cycling, swimming, and tennis.
Wow.
And so, you know, we're, and I think I'm on record of saying this, but we're the only Caribbean program that is just competing in cycling. And so it's a relatively new sport for us, but we've been doing well. The guys have been training a lot, like all the athletes, but they're doing exceedingly well given it's a new sport. You know?
Right. And so do you have the numbers as to how many persons we're going to be, how many athletes we're going to be sending?
So we're sending 14 athletes. Again, in cycling, we have 2 athletes, Robert Liddy and Shane Nisbet. They're both from Nevis. They'll be participating in the cycling. And we have in athletics, we have Sandy here, who's one. We have Kezia Bell. We have Jamor Merchant and Najil Mitchell. And in tennis, we have Jamoy Bryan, Shakir Stapleton, Asharia White, and there'll be, and Lama Johnson. Yeah, they'll be doing tennis. And for the first time, we also have one of the pillars for Special Olympics is inclusion, inclusion and acceptance. And so we have a program called Unified Sports. And what that means is that we are matching or teaming up with persons without disability and persons with intellectual disability on the same team to promote inclusion and that type of thing. So for the first time, we are partnering with a person without intellectual disability who will be partnering with one of our athletes in the tennis. So for the first time, we have unified tennis, and Jamoy is traveling with us as part of the team. He's going to do a doubles match with Shakir, who's one of our special athletes.
Okay, and you mentioned there was swimming as well?
And so there's swimming, and swimming is coached by Yasmin Powell and Chester Myers. Swimming, we have Deslyn Hobson. There's Deslyn, my mind went blank. Oh, there's Alicia Fleming, Ashton Mills, and the last one is, who's left out? Oh, Joseph Mason, Joy, of course, how could I get fit? Joy. So I'm just trying to remember. So, so we have 4 athletes doing the swimming, the tennis, and of course, 2 athletes doing cycling.
Oh, full slate.
Yeah, if you look at it, that's really good. And you know, I could only imagine the level of work that you guys put in to get to this level, because it's not easy. It's surely not easy. So tell us. Yes.
Right. Tell us what preparation has been like.
Yes.
Hectic.
Yes, I could imagine.
Very.
Yes.
I mean, it's going well. It's a lot of work. They're putting in the work. I am putting in the work, but we are preparing for the best outcome.
So you were an athlete previously, or this is a completely new thing for you?
I was bocce coach, but I am now the athletic coach.
Oh wow!
You were the
bocce coach. That's a different sport.
Oh,
you know the game bocce, like a French, Italian / God knows what else.
Yeah.
What do we call it locally? Yes, what do we call it locally? Bocce. You don't have it here. We in Guyana we call it taw.
So
it's like a big ball, and you try to hit not another one out of a hole to get it.
Oh, it's like the
hole.
ball to go through the little small little hoops.
No, it's in the ground.
Oh, the ground.
And then you just throw it like into another.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that's
like licks and spawn, you know.
So that's popular here.
But we played.
No, it's not popular here. That's why I was asking if they
Yeah.
have like a name, a local name for it. But I played it as a kid in Guyana.
Okay.
It's a Special Olympic sport.
Okay. Awesome.
Interesting. So tell us what do you feel like? Are you nervous?
Yes.
What's preparation been like? How many days do you train?
Every day.
What?
Every day.
Even Sundays?
Some other times.
Wow. So we're definitely bringing home some gold.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
We started out training 2 days per week, but now we are trying to train daily.
And
getting
how?
close to the game.
What races does she run? Is it 1, 2?
What race are you running?
We're running 100, 200, 4x4.
4x1.
4x1, sorry.
Wow. Okay then.
So the whole team will be.
Right in the relay.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And how long have you been running? How long have you been a track and field athlete?
Well, I used to be track and field since I mean school, but now I'm finished with school.
So
I
you
get back.
continued?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Wow. How many medals did we bring home from the last Olympics?
So with the last Olympics in Abu Dhabi, we had 13 athletes. We participated in athletics, bocce. We did bocce this time, cycling and triathlon.
Yes.
Swimming and tennis.
Okay.
And we brought home 8 gold medals.
What?
8 gold.
Wow.
So we medaled in every event. And so the athletes did exceptionally well.
That's commendable. That's highly commendable.
It is. And one must put that in context where it's a World Games.
Yeah.
So we're in Abu Dhabi, it was 190 countries represented, and globally, and we were able to win in all specific events. The additional thing is that it was the first time we participated with cycling and triathlon, and we, so the guys really did well. First time, we've been training them like for the previous 2 years before on getting them to cycles and stuff like that. So we were really pleased with their performance, and the cycling, they're competing against themselves.
Right.
So it's called time trials, and so every athlete go there on their own. They don't have a competitor, and to see how fast they can go to the time. And so it's particularly, it's a different thing when you can see your competitor.
Exactly. So tell us what cycling prep has been like. Is there a special bike that you use? Give us all that info. I'm curious.
Good morning. My name is Jesse Mulcahy.
Yes.
Assistant coach, traveling with the team to Germany. For the athletes, the 2 athletes that are cycling who are going with us, our preparation is very, very good. I am taking through the paces with strength training, the technical training. Some I teach them like hill sprints.
What?
We do like resistance training. So what they actually do is to help you, because the course that they would be participating on, it would be flat.
Okay.
So you with the resistance training, it would help you to to perform much better.
Wow. So what is resistance training like? Riding against the wind or uphill?
It's uphill.
Uphill.
So you do the sprints, uphill. So it helps you to when you get on the flat, you.
What's the timing like? Because I remember Mr. Blake said that they're basically timed as they do the sprints. So
we did the time trial already too. We had to send it off to Germany with the times. I don't really remember the times that they did, but
do they have to be like under a certain time?
Yes. Yeah. That is how they are being competed against each other. they go by the times.
Mhm.
Yeah, that is how it is.
And how long is it for? So it's an
It's,
hour, and you have to ride for an hour around a course, like.
They're taking part in the 5 kilometer and
Okay.
the 10 kilometer races.
So it depends on how fast you get through.
How fast you get through that.
Yeah.
And is there a specific bike that you're supposed to use?
Yeah, they would be using the road bikes.
So they're road bikes.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
So one of the things what we do at the World Games is so we will have over 7,000 athletes in Berlin.
Wow.
Come to time, and so before the delegation is scheduled to depart, one group leaves on the 8th of June, next week, and the other leaves on the 10th because you couldn't get everybody on the same flight. However, we're going early because during World Games they always have what we call a host town program. What it means that they don't just have people come in just to compete.
Yeah.
They want to come in. The host country always have a program called Host Town, where the athletes, the delegation comes in, and they are hosted by a town or area or city. So all the delegation that's going to Germany will be hosted in the first 4 days somewhere in Germany. For us, we're landing in Munich, and we're going to a town called Olching, and they'll be hosting us for the 3-4 days there. We will be going sightseeing. They're organized activities for us, some sporting events, acclimatized, culturalized. You get food, and so we were doing stuff like that. And then we'll travel to Berlin on the 15th of June in preparation for the World Games. The 17th is the opening ceremony. So, and then as part of the World Games, we focus on, Special Olympics focus quite a bit on health of our athletes. And so we have a program called Healthy Athletes, where we have 7 disciplines that the athletes go through and get a checkup. Eyes, ears, dental, the feet, the mind. So there's 7 different disciplines, and they go through that, and they'll be prescribed, if they need glasses, they'll be prescribed glasses right on the spot.
That's good.
And hearing aids. So there's a whole host of medical doctors and practitioners who are there as a team doing that throughout the period. And it takes an average of 4 hours. Ms. Batcher will tell you. It takes, because each coach has to schedule their athletes going through when they have a time off. And you would ask her, she has her experience in Abu Dhabi. It takes about 4 hours per individual to go through the program. So, say again?
And you have 14 persons.
4 hours?
That's the
Oh my
average.
goodness. Well, it would make sense. It's almost a day because it's 14 persons and 4 hours per person. Wow.
But they will go team by team. Sorry. All the athletes won't go at the same time because they have different schedules.
Yes.
The competition is when they're not on competition, the coach will take them through. And it does take a while because you're getting health screening. Proper health screening, checking everything.
Wow.
And then we get the results, and sometimes they find out people have issues that was not aware of. So it's an opportunity for athletes not only to compete and enjoy themselves, but also get proper health
Free
screening.
health screening.
Yes.
And would that wouldn't preclude them from participating if they found out something?
So prior to selection of athletes, we go through a registration process. And the registration process, of course, you get all the information, the date of birth and all that stuff, passport. But there's a medical screening that we have to go. So they have to be certified that they can compete by a medical doctor. So every athlete has to, when we register them, has to go through that whatever the medical situations is, whatever medication they're taking, everything is documented
Okay.
and sent to the delegation services. So we have a complete dossier on every athlete competing. And of course, they had to be cleared by the medical doctor saying they can compete and
Now,
take part in
is there an
swingers.
age range? Because are some of the athletes that would have participated in the last Olympics returning this year?
We have, yes, we have about 4 or 5 of them that was returning, that have been before. The Special Olympics doesn't have, they compete in their own groups. It's not an elite athletic competition. So each athlete, we do something called divisioning. So divisioning means that when you're competing persons with like performance standards.
Okay.
And so, yeah, so they group that way.
Okay.
And the same thing when we have to, one of the things we did was to ensure that we have a balance in gender. You know, instead of taking on males, we make sure we have at least 40% females. So.
That question did occur to me because I was trying to listen to the names and I couldn't differentiate some of the names.
Yes.
How many females and how many males do we have?
We have for each, the only sport that we don't have a female is cycling.
Cycling.
Oh.
Okay.
But I think by and large about 50% of the athletes.
Contingent?
Yeah. Yeah, just around 50% are
That's good.
females. And you know, that's one of the things that Special Olympics advocate about is getting a good balance.
Okay.
How do you recruit your athletes?
So, as you're aware, all the athletes have intellectual disabilities. So, we have a school, the Cotton Thomas Comprehensive School, where those athletes, students go. And also we have an adult center called Addie's Place at Greenlands, where when they leave school, they'll go to Addie's Place. They're accommodated there. They've taught life skills, how to do things around the house, how to wash, cook, and that kind of things. And so that's where our athletes target population comes from. And sometimes even though they don't go to the school, sometimes we identify people early, relatively late, that who have those disabilities, that we provide the opportunity for them to participate in sports. Generally, they do this all year round. They go to swimming every week, they play tennis, so they do this all year round, which they wouldn't have had the opportunity otherwise.
Yes.
And we just had a unified champion schools program, football program. We were included 5 primary schools on the island. And this is a program we just launched. And we were told there are students, athletes on the team that didn't get an opportunity in their own schools to get on the football team in their own school.
Oh, wow.
And so part of our unified, we had athletes with disabilities, intellectual disabilities, playing together on the same teams with athletes without. And so that's a program we've just launched with the 5 schools, the Cotton Thomas Comprehensive, Beach Allen, Tucker Clark, Washington Archibald, and Dr. William Connor. So, that's something that will be ongoing, and we will grow that program. And because we're aiming at promoting inclusiveness, acceptance, and fostering that kind of thing, awareness among our population, so that no one is left out based on anything. No one is left out.
I like it. I like the word unified.
Iva, let me ask, what do you think? I always listen. I'm always amazed at the medal count. I mean, the outsized medal count, given the size of the country. What do you think accounts for that? I mean, when you consider we're going up against the United States with 335 million people, all these countries with what do you think accounts for that? Is it that maybe we are just basically doing more physical activity as just as a regular part of life versus some of these quote unquote advanced countries?
Well, I think like sport is a avenue where I think it's like it breaks down all the barriers. And I don't think a size of a country of those kind of things matters, as long as you have the person is a human resource, and you have persons who have the talent and skill sets to do things. You'll have people rise, as we see in sport and track and field, for example, where you have the giants like Jamaica and other small nations really excelling. So it's the talent pool. It's part of a culture, and we're able to, based on that, we don't have too much other resources. We're able to hone those particular resources for athletic skills and do that. I think it's like almost like digital divide, that it doesn't matter the size of the country once people have access. It's
Right.
something like that.
I know someone from Nevis was supposed to join us, but I don't know. I haven't had anyone call, so maybe if you can tell us in brief.
So yes, so we had
about the mirror program in Nevis.
The coach Terry Andrews. She's based in Nevis, and yes, that's gone now.
It's gone?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
It was scratching. Okay, you can hear me?
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
Okay. So she was to join us. I think we were supposed to send her a link, though. Do you have a Zoom? Or she can call in by...
Yes, she can call in.
Yeah, she can call.
I can send her the phone number so she can call in. Yeah, but the athletes have been training over 9 months continuously. And we're looking forward to them really showing us they represent the federation in big style. I think they all articulated that they want to go and have fun, they want to compete and win gold, and to see another part of the country. A lot of times, through Special Olympics is the only time most of these athletes get to travel. And so we're always looking to get funding to assist, because we don't charge the athletes or the families to participate. And to do something like this costs a lot of money. So we depend a lot on our corporate donors, persons within the community who will contribute, and of course government as well, that assists with funding assistance for us to be able to put on these travel to these events around
So
the
you
world.
guys generally don't do like any fundraising activities?
Yes, we do. We do throughout the year. It's just that coming out of the pandemic, we have not done as much as we could have in the ensuing after the last games, because right after that we had the pandemic shut down everything. So those 2 years had restricted us quite considerably.
Understand.
In getting funds. Remember the day we closed down the weekend, we were supposed to have a big fundraiser that weekend in March of 2020, when we just said, no, we're all set to go. Then, no, so from there it hampered us quite a bit, and I found that this time around it's very difficult to get support from business places.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. I don't know. It's the climate is not really. So it's you said it.
Yeah.
So it's been very difficult for us to get support from the local companies. And with that, I'd like to thank those that stepped up, like the Social Security Board, the St. Kitts Tourism Authority, and Digicel, who's pledged to provide us some support. So we're really thankful for that. And of course, government through the Ministry of Sports and the Prime Minister's office who have really stepped up and helped us with our travel cost.
Wow.
Well, kudos.
I have
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
Thank you.
I have a comment here to read from someone. He says, "I'm not certain we as Kitchen and divisions understand the scope, the magnitude of the 8 gold medals won by Special Olympics. To put it into perspective, we don't even win 8 medals at character. Never mind 8 gold medals. We have never won 8 gold medals in Olympics or World Championships or Commonwealth Games. With a team of 14 athletes winning 8 gold medals, the ratio of not medals, gold medals to athletes is phenomenal. Congratulations to Ivor and Mrs. Cotton, the athletes, parents, schools, coaches, and all involved."
Yeah. Congratulations.
Yes,
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You guys are doing a phenomenal job.
And remember, we just mentioned just gold medals.
Yeah.
I
There were
know.
silvers and bronze.
Yeah.
So, you know,
That's amazing. And I think I want to say thank you to that person who put it in perspective, because it's really commendable when you look at it. I mean, they've been hitting above their size.
Punching above their weight.
Yeah, punching above their weight. That's the phrase.
He loves this phrase. You know, that's his favorite phrase.
But, you know,
Wow.
So it doesn't matter our size. As I think our greatest resource is always will be, and our human resource.
Yeah.
And once we can develop, and we have the vision and the will, we can develop that human resource, irrespective of how small it is. Because it only take one. You only need one Kim Collins, you know, and you put yourself on the map. So it's really.
Thank you guys so much for the work you've been doing.
Yeah, and I mean, thank you for coming out. Thank you for sharing with us this morning the good job that you guys are doing. And I want to say, continue the good work. Is there any I want to say lasting words that you want to.
Well,
to
please
give.
give us the dates for the games again.
So the games, the dates, the opening ceremony will be on the 17th of June. The closing ceremony is on the 25th of June. So the games are from the 17th to the 25th. And
World Games.
World Games. That's the World Games. Yes, in Berlin, and we'll try our best to capture as much as we can and send them back. So once you got the contacts for the different media houses, send them back as much as possible. Sometimes it's challenging because the coaches are so busy once the competition starts to do that. But the travel is quite involved. We're heading to London first, and leave one airport and go to the other airport, and to catch the other flight to go to Munich. And given the situation where flights are still restricted, there's no Liat, so we're traveling on British Airways, and when they come to St. Kitts on the Wednesdays and
Saturdays.
So it's restricted through that. But and then there's the transportation in London to get to get 22 passengers with luggage.
That is going to be interesting.
So the Ministry
Those logistics.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs is assisting us to coordinate that. So it's a lot of moving parts. Uniforms, where we have to get uniforms for the athletes, the whole delegation. That's being done. Right now they're gonna send that to us directly to Germany. So there's a lot of things that we have to go in there, and travel and everything. And also there are a number of things that we do here to raise funds to get the athletes ready. We have camps, and they're training all the time, and we try to get them involved into understanding that they're going to a different country, a different culture, and so there's a lot of things to do. So it'd be a lot of fun. It would be a lot of fun. The whole aim is to prepare them as much as we can, and to make them have fun when they get there. It's all about the athletes, and so that's what we do.
Well, you definitely have us rooting for you. Hopefully this time, like you said, you'll be able to send the information as it happens.
Yes.
So you'll be able to publicize it a little bit more, because I find that that has been a little bit slow in coming forth.
Well, what I would like to is one of these games have have someone embedded through the media.
Right.
That's my goal. That will be
So
there
in that way, they will
specifically
send the reports daily.
everything, right? Yes.
Right. Do you guys have a Facebook page?
Yes.
Okay.
It's Special Olympics St. Kitts Nevis on the Facebook page. Just Google that, and of course, we'll update that as much as we can. Our athletes have an oath, Special Olympics oath, that they all pledge. And so before we go, I'd like to Sandy to actually recite the oath. Speaking of my
Let's go for it, Sandy.
Let me win, but if I cannot win, let me be brave in the attempt.
Good.
Wow.
Thank you.
Awesome.
So it's all about, it's not just about winning, it's the participation that matters.
I think that is applicable for every athlete because nobody
So-
likes to lose, but
exactly.
at least
So let me win, but we don't want them to
Even
give
if
up.
I don't
We don't want it right to the end.
Mm-hmm.
It's the attempt that matters.
nice. Thank you.
anything
Again,
last you
congratulations for even making the team, and we look forward to you bringing back some goals for us.
All the best, Sandy.
Thank you.
All the best, everyone.
Thank you so much for the work that you guys are putting in, and we look forward to hearing only good news.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Only
And have a
good
safe
news.
trip.
Thank you.
Medal up.
Yes. Have a safe trip, guys.
Safe
Thanks for
trip.
coming in today.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
And we
for having
welcome you back when you come back and tell us the good news.
With the medals.
Yes.
Make sure you have your sunglasses.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Pump it up with Quicks. One pump and you're pumping. Dishes done, you're smiling. Pump it up with Quicks. Keep pumping. Pump it up some more. Pump it up. Grease is gone for sure. Pump it up. All your dishes fixed. Pump it up. Pump it up with Quicks. I don't want a dirty sink. Keep pumping up with Quicks now. Clean that sink. Pump it up some more. Pump it up. Grease is gone for sure. Pump it up. All your dishes fixed. Pump it up. Pump it up with Quicks. Pump it up.
Fruta, taste the real Fruta. Enjoy the real Fruta. Refreshing juice of every day. Whoa, Fruta. Drink the real Fruta. Your favorite real Fruta. The natural taste is Fruta. Fruta.
Your favorite fruit has got a new skin with real juice within. Drink the real Fruta. Enjoy the real joy.
Taste the real Fruta. Enjoy the real Fruta. Refreshing juice of every day is Fruta.
Fruta, juiced right.
Minutes until 10 o'clock. Island Tea. And of course, we're rooting for our Special Olympics team heading off for the World Games in Berlin in June. And we know they're going to be doing big things.
not us drop the ball with Shani.
I know.
How extra all.
Yeah, the mic's on. Yeah. Yeah, good. Okay, so we're
That's
back.
like a gotcha moment.
I know. Oh, somebody was saying they wanted the oath repeated. Oh. Well, that was an interesting segment.
Yes, it was. We were just saying, that we forgot to take our photo with Natasha. Yes.
Send us a photo, Shani.
Yes, we forgot to take our photo with Natasha. Because, we usually take our photos of our guests, but we were so,
yes.
Yeah.
Hurrying to catch up with the schedule.
Yes.
I'm kind of disappointed that we have no farmers report. I was waiting to hear what the results of those meetings were.
Yeah.
So
very
let's
true.
see what happens next week.
So guys,
Special Olympics.
The Special Olympics and the fact that they have done so well and there's such a small number.
And what surprises me is that it's not more publicized. Because I vaguely remember it happening.
Yeah.
And then I remember seeing, I think it was on TV recently, there were this unified athletes that they were talking about. They started doing it in the U.S., of course, in preparations for Special Olympics. So they took some of the athletes to train with children in different schools in the area.
Yeah.
And you saw them running, playing basketball, that type of thing. So
we
I had
some calls.
a vague idea as to what Mr. Blake was referring to. Oh, let's take
caller, let's go ahead. Caller, go ahead.
Oh, we
Okay,
lost it.
but and we see it. I mean, look at with the volleyball. We have all these.
Why are some more publicized than others? That's my question.
It's just it's a uniquely Kittitian division thing. We just don't pay attention to certain things. I don't know. Caller, go right ahead.
Hello,
hey, Jumpster, I'm sorry about that.
No,
Press
that's
the wrong
cool.
button.
That's
But anyway, this is Mr. Bike.
Oh my! Good morning.
I eat bike. I sleep on bike.
Okay then.
And
Culture, hope
sorry
your back
about
is
that, Jay.
good because that sounds uncomfortable.
I wanted to give some hints.
Yes.
While the coaches and whatnot were they representing Special Olympics.
Yeah, well, when you call, I was trying. Someone from Nevis was supposed to call, but
Yeah, I
the
understand.
coach from
Yeah, I heard
Nevis,
you.
but they,
Yeah, what I wanted to tell the coach for the cycling, which is my good friend Jesse, that we know that we are a small little unseen island on the world map. And we are going up against world greats. And even though they are what you call Paralympians, they get the best training in the world. And what he said about the training, the strength training in the hills, that is good. But the strength training must be done before the speed training. Because if you do the speed training first, and then you go do the strength training could slow down the speed of the legs of the cyclist. And
Wow.
everything must be properly aerodynamically posed for that cyclist. Now, the legs must be under the elbows of the arms. They cannot be outside like a catapult, and the arms inside. And the toes must be slightly pointed in towards the frame and the pedals. And they cannot wear cotton jersey and cotton pants in a race. Everything should be silk, which bounces off the wind. The cotton clothing, it would suck the wind and hold it right there and resist. That is strong resistance
And
for
weigh
you,
you
the cyclist.
down. Right, kind of weigh you down.
Right, and the hair must be short, not long. Because here, suck wind and you hold it.
Right.
And they must be in a position where the wind bounce on the forehead or the helmet and go straight back without any resistance, like a plane flaps.
Wow. You're definitely knowledgeable in the field.
I've been to the Commonwealth Games in Edmonton, me and Lappy and Scott, and so we learned a lot while we were up there. I learned a lot. And again, the two most important things are the first one, your cardiovascular system must be in such a condition that they cannot get tired.
Do you
Once
coach
you're in
right
that
now?
long distance race. Eh?
Do you coach right now?
Well, I could coach literally, but not physically. Because my bicycle wheel them in the shop.
Okay.
They need spokes.
What? You need new wheels.
And another thing again, they have to be focusing on the hands, on the clock, individual time trial. You cannot shelter and hide behind nobody. It's you and the clock and you focus. And it must be from the start, go, to the finish is go. Don't ease up. Keep your posture and look at the road. If the road have a deep curve going around the right, then no vehicular traffic would be on that road. So if you're going around, if you're riding on the left and you're going around a right curve, you cut over quick to the right curve, and that would cut your distance that you have to travel. All of that you have to take into account.
It's quite a bit.
So these guys, they have to don't be fearful of those guys from those big countries. And it's not too late when they reach up there to take a little glimpse of peep and those big guys, how they have their bike trims and whatnot. And if you can adjust your cycle to like those guys, it is a helpful hint. And those guys in those big countries, you know what they even do? They shave the hair off the arm.
Yes.
And the legs. And they don't wear no socks when you're doing individual time trial. They don't. So a lot of things comes into effect there. With our cyclists. And I wish them well. I wish I was physically fit in position to go there. I would have been with them.
Well, hopefully we can do something about that. Maybe you can still volunteer otherwise. So.
Yeah, well, I will volunteer virtually to them and give them instructions. As long as they get the instruction, they put the instruction in place. Don't run from them, because when me and Lappy had to compete in Canada against those big countries, me and Lappy in love with bicycles so much that we decided we don't see no size on a country here. Man is man.
Exactly. Yes.
And all they can do, put out the experience that we never had, because they had the coach and the proper facilities. And you can't really, you got to be exceptionally good to cope with those guys out there and reach head to head to the finish line. But they will beat you, they'll buy an inch or two because of the experience.
Well, hopefully we can remedy that and get, Yeah.
Make sure, Jesse, make sure the tires and the bicycle that those guys are going to use, make sure they are slick, S-L-I-C-K, slick tires, no pegs. They're smooth. Because even pegs on a tire, they hold wind.
Yes.
And then it depends on how you put the tire on the rim, you could make it harder for the cyclist to push. Those guys up there in those big countries, they have smooth tires, but they're hard, eh?
Wow.
You call them slick.
Okay.
So they really wouldn't have no resistance against the wind. They go through the wind like a needle going through a wind.
Wow. Thank you so much for that. I really hope that they're listening, and I hope that you're able to get in contact with them and pass on all of these tidbits. And also that we get the facilities needed, because there's nothing stopping us as long as we're properly equipped.
Yes.
And when it comes to cycling training, 7 days a week is not enough.
Well,
and the more miles you can put in your legs, it's better for you.
Okay.
Don't give up and say, man, I'm out here an hour and a half. And I'm going, no, forget the hour and a half. You go till night, meet you, and if you could sit through the night, you train too.
Yes.
But you must get proper rest and eat the proper diet.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Culture.
Very much.
Yes.
Very
Anything
insightful.
for my country, I am there.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. Have a good one today.
Okay, let's take another call. Caller, you're on the air. Go right ahead.
Yes, man. Good morning to you guys, man.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Yeah. This guy Culture that just got off. I heard that. I heard something about him. I don't know if I really want to put that on the air, but I guess his injuries or whatever. But after hearing what he's saying just now, man, him and the other guys that he said went to the Olympics, you know, somewhere along the line, man, this guy has a lot of knowledge, man, and he knows a lot about cycling. I've been listening to him for a while now, and I want to hear him up this morning and say good morning to him. And you know, somewhere along the line, the guys who was just in the studio, they should try to get him to make an appearance, man.
Yes.
They should try to get him to make an appearance when they're training or whatever before they go off to the Olympics. Because this guy has a lot of, look at what this guy just said just now. You know, he has just put out so much points just now that can help these cyclists, man. I know it's only 2 cyclists, the people who was in the studio just said that they're going to participate. But this guy have a wealth of knowledge, and you know, somewhere along the line, somebody got to get this guy involved with these Olympic people that's going away, and try to get him at least to the 1 or 2 practice sessions so you can, you know, give them some pointers and some encouragement at least. You know, but heal up culture, man. Enjoy your day, bro, and you guys have a good day. I have a couple of other things to say, but maybe I'll wait till tomorrow and come back in.
Yeah,
All
thank
right,
you
then
so
we'll
much.
wait for your call.
Yes.
Thank you. Have a good one today.
Yeah, have a good one.
Oh.
In all of this good news, I just read this article. It says that Guyana police to charge pilot with human trafficking.
Yeah, I saw that.
Mhm.
Despicable.
Yeah. And the Guyana police said that they will lay human trafficking charges against a 45-year-old pilot and businessman whom they said had been bringing Venezuelan nationals into the country over a 6-month period.
It's probably just one of few that they caught.
Yeah.
One of many, I should say.
And when you think about human trafficking, if you see the documentaries, if you see the movies on these things, it's devastating.
Ever so often, the police catches up with them and clamps down, and it's horrible conditions.
Yeah, but when you think about
they bring
Guyana,
them in with all of these
there.
promises,
Yeah.
but you see, Venezuela is going through a lot economically, and people just want a better life. So they lure them with all these promises of jobs and gold and better housing conditions and just money in general. I don't know if you've seen this, what's happening in Venezuela, because of the embargo and the government and everything else. And so they take the chance and they come over and then they keep them locked up in houses and make them into prostitutes. Some of these women are not even prostitutes in real life or in their homeland, but this is what they're now reduced to. They confiscate their documents and then they force them into prostitution. So every now and then the police will catch up with them and clamp down on them. So I'm happy that this is happening. There's also some other sad news out of Guyana. We lost another one of the girls.
Yeah.
It was 19 and it's now up to 20. A 13-year-old passed. She succumbed to her injuries. And so the death toll has now risen to 20 persons from the aftermath of the fire.
Yeah.
So condolences to her parents. Everybody was kind of hoping she would pull through. And so now there's just a few more still hospitalized and one that was medevac to the U.S. So we're hoping that the others don't succumb. So there are now 5 of them remaining in hospital.
I'm just seeing a story here I find interesting. I was looking at Unicoma. I don't know if you know, guys, know Unicoma.
This is Quartz, right?
Yes, the people that own Quartz. They just bought the rights. They acquired Radio Shack, the Radio Shack brand. So it's going to be interesting to see how they utilize that in the Caribbean. I don't know if they're going to maybe set up or maybe they have an in-store brand using the Radio Shack name. Or
because quite a few of the Radio Shack stores closed down.
Yeah.
I know there was one in Trinidad that I actually frequented when I lived there, and when I went recently, it was gone.
Yeah.
Long gone.
And they, you know, like it's a place. I remember when I was in college, I used to have to go there to buy. We'd have to make little circuits and stuff for like for my electronics, my applied electrical and electronics course, and I used to go there and buy the capacitors and like soldering irons and stuff. So it would be interesting to see if they would have, they would try and do some of that here, because for do-it-yourself type people.
Right.
So that'd be it's been
So
interesting.
you're
to see.
intrigued about that.
Yeah,
I can see your eyes through
I
the
was
glass.
wondering, it's kind of be interesting to see how they're gonna do that in the Caribbean, knowing that they have courts already. You know. Yeah.
Well, maybe they'll merge them. Let's wait and see what happens.
Yeah, I could see just as like how they have the Quartz optical,
Mhm.
they could have a Radio Shack off to the side where you could go and buy your components and stuff for DIY.
I wonder
type
why
people.
they thought it was lucrative, though.
Actually, it's actually a good move, and I
But
think
why
about it.
were the ones in the
Radio
US
Shack.
closing down?
Well, they weren't doing well because
Exactly. So if
yeah.
they're not doing well there,
Yeah, but you're gonna always have. I could see it being making sense because you're gonna always have DIY type people, right?
Mhm.
And if you just put it as part of your bigger store that people know, Quartz, for example, just like how you have the Quartz Optical now as part of the thing. If you have that as part of a bigger store, I think it could work. And then you could also
or just buy the equipment and sell it under the name
yeah.
Quartz.
Or you could also have a store brand where you could
Mhm.
have maybe little transistor radios and little things with Radio Shack on
It might work.
branded on them. Yeah,
At least Jamsa is very optimistic.
it could work.
So
It could work. Let's see. Fingers crossed.
The
For them
DIY,
at least.
DIY part of it is what I'm more intrigued.
I can
about.
tell you're definitely on your own with that. I'm more into different types of craft.
Yeah. So,
I was here looking at an article about the 5 toys we played with as kids in the Caribbean. Could you guess one of them?
Top.
You've read the article before.
No, I didn't see. Is it on?
Yes,
No, I haven't seen it. No.
The top is
The
the
top?
first one.
Oh,
yes.
really? Okay.
Did you have a top?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Did you?
I can't. I don't think so.
I don't think that's a girl-
I had like
not really a girl
one.
thing, though.
I had like
Everyone
one
had a
small
spinning
one.
thing,
It didn't
yeah.
last very long.
Yeah.
I did not have the patience to.
When you look at the
walk
toys, you're
behind
like,
that.
what could have fascinated you about spinning this?
And then you have to walk and go get it and come back. I was never.
I remember you
Marbles.
Yeah,
definitely marbles.
Marbles number 2. You reading
Yeah.
this?
No, but marbles was my first guess actually.
I didn't even see it.
Yeah,
No,
marbles
was my
are
first
there.
guess.
I imagine for the ladies, tic-tac-toe, maybe.
Tic-tac?
That thing
I
with the-
played marbles.
Is that what they call it?
What do you call it?
With this,
The
where you-
Mississippi?
Jacks.
Where they put the chalk on the ground and
Hopscotch.
yeah.
Remember they talk
Hopscotch,
about
yeah,
Hopscotch.
hopscotch.
I'm like,
I don't know where did I get
tic-tac-toe
tic-tac-toe from?
That's why I said
Isn't that what the
jacks, because
Americans
I'm-
call it?
No, they call it
No,
hopscotch.
tic-tac-toe
too.
is something separate.
No,
Yeah.
TikTok is an app.
No,
Jamster.
tic-tac-toe,
tic-tac-toe.
like the one that you
okay.
play with the X's and the
T-I-C-T-A-C-toe,
O's.
yeah.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
No, but
tic-tac-toe.
I was a hopscotch champ. I love hopscotch.
Hopscotch.
So they have the top.
That's what they call Mississippi.
They have
too,
the
right?
No,
marbles.
Mississippi's the jumping one with the rope.
They have the top, the marbles. They have the jump rope.
Right.
Jump rope. okay.
Yeah, with the jump rope. They have the kite.
Kite, yeah.
Huh.
And the fifth one, the dolls.
They don't have jacks.
No,
I
they don't have
loved
jacks.
I
jacks.
see where you know those.
With the ball
Yeah,
and the
so-
little
yeah,
metal
the-
star looking like
yeah.
thing.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
metal five.
And that was an art because I remember
Mm.
as a kid I used to stand and look at my aunt play it all the time and I used to be like so jealous. And then I would practice. Whenever she would put it down, I would go practice. Of course, you have to make sure not to lose the ball.
Exactly.
but kites, aren't kites like seasonal?
Yeah.
I'm
But they
surprised
said-
that they listed kites.
Yeah, Easter.
They say with the strong trade winds blowing through the Caribbean, flying a kite was a popular pastime. We would make our own kites out of newspapers or nylon bags and string and went along the beach watching their creations so in the sky. I
Did
guess
you make a kite as a kid?
I had kites. Did I make a kite? I can't remember.
I've never tried my hand. I remember
Because-
I had an uncle that used to, like, every time leading up to Easter, he would get into this phase and he would make what they call caddy old punch. And so, like, any older Guyanese listening would
Yeah.
know. It's like you take paper and then you make, like, flour paste to hold it together and you run, like, old string, through it, and something that's called pointer, which is like almost like a stem from a coconut tree. And so you'd see these little make shack kites all about the place, just annoying parents. Because as soon as school closes for Easter, they don't wait to get the real kites. They just make these and just...
But you know, we live in a world now where we can get everything cheap from China, so nobody even bothers to make kites.
Actually,
so.
people still do it, and I think it's an art. This Easter, I bought 5 kites from a guy that actually makes traditional Guyanese type kites.
Oh, okay.
And
That's
I
cool.
donated them to the Guyanese Association for the Easter program that they were having.
God knows we generate enough trash where we could probably repurpose some of the trash
Right.
and make kites.
They were nicely done too.
Yeah.
I'm not in favor of the plastic ones. I feel like it's a rip-off. And then was one thing, and I mean, those are delicate as well. The plastic ones is just mass manufactured.
Do people ever make kites where maybe they're reusable? Where, for example, you use it, say you made it, or even you bought it, and after you
I think
take
there's
it
a way
down
you can patch it up.
Because I always get the impression that they get destroyed just by being.
Let me tell you, it's really delicate.
Up in the,
I could imagine.
Yeah, if it falls, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
nice article.
I saw it and I was like, wow, cool.
Marbles.
Gems, I got
Did you
two.
play marbles?
Yeah, marbles. I think.
Were you good at marbles?
I was.
You
okay
have
at
the
marbles.
fingers for it.
I never
Thank you.
really played marbles though. Somehow,
Yeah.
I used to watch them play it. I never.
No?
The top thing I would do sometimes.
Yeah, the top thing. And you know, I don't think you ever watch
Well,
Blade.
It was my
You ever
cowboy.
watch Blade?
How come they didn't say
It's kinda like
cowboys?
Tops, right?
Yeah.
How come they didn't do cowboys and Indians? I used to.
It's not
I
a
used to
toy.
play that.
Cops and
That's
I know,
not
well,
a-
toy. Yeah,
It's
true.
not a toy,
Used to play
Jackson,
cops
that's a
and
game.
robbers
But
a
then you
lot.
have to have things to play with it.
Yeah.
But I mean, guns have become so stigmatized now. But back in the day,
Although
I mean, I
had
had
lots of water
I
guns.
loved
Me too.
water guns.
And I never once thought of becoming.
I had water guns. I had cars. I had trucks.
I never once thought, as Baby Sham put it, turning Al Capone. You know, not once.
It only happened when he went to foreign. He turned into Al Capone. Pay attention to the song.
Yes.
I love Baby Sham.
So guys, it's been a wonderful morning. I want to shout out my cousin who is in Florida. He tells me that he listens to the show every morning.
Good morning, cuz.
Yeah, Clifford Morton. So shout out to you. Hoping you're having a good day today.
Somebody's talking about we made singing kites. That must have been interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in today.
Yes.
And we look forward to seeing you again here tomorrow.
Exactly.
Okay, and
Have a nice one.
we have Spin Cycle next. I'm also going to be on Voices as
Oh,
well. So I think I'm
You're
gonna.
having a rough day.
Yeah, I know. Tell me about
He's
it.
doing what he loves to do.
No, not really. I prefer to just play music, to be honest.
Uh-huh.
All that other stuff.
It's just
Trust me. All that other stuff.
Okay.
Well, hopefully your
Here,
throat
here,
and your
here generating hot ear. I'd rather not be generating hot ear. I'd rather be playing hot
Why
music.
he said it, but not me.
Well,
have a good day today,
Yes.
Jam. So hang in there.
Yes.
I hope your voice makes it throughout the day.
Yes.
No,
because
I'll be fine.
You have almost like 6 hours of talking.
Why?
6 hours of talking. Right.
Hey,
Well, maybe
good
4.
luck with the
Way
phones
to
as
rub it
well.
in. Way to rub it in. Okay, guys. See
Have
you
a good
guys
one
tomorrow.
today, everyone.
Okay.
Magnum new label charge up, and it means that the vibes will just like you.
I your name I call up. Can't you see that?